Hi, this is Lucy and welcome to the Enclave outpost. You do not need catwalks to build this. You will, however, need to be able to destroy items either through PvP, a flamer trap, or coming soon, in a week, you will have the ability to destroy items in your camp with a weapon. If this is something that you are interested in, please stay tuned. So I had pondered for a long time doing an Enclave build. Oh, that's the first time I've seen him get on the bike, actually. Or I keep getting a visiting trader and they keep getting on the bike, so... I'd pondered doing this for a while. It's not my usual build style, but I kind of like the Enclave vibe, although possibly not their politics. I will show you where I am on the map. The reason I built it here is we have a good view of the observatory over there where the Brotherhood of Steel are based, and we obviously want to keep an eye on them. We are just to the right of the Rose Room, which is to the right of Morgantown. Brotherhood of Steel are here. This is Fort Atlas, and the vault is over here. For those who follow my channel, you will know this is where I built my observatory, and I did say I was going to build here again. So I created this ramp using roofs to sort of make it... I like building by roads because that is where you would build. But because of the terrain, I couldn't obviously get the foundations very low, so I decided to build this ramp using roofs. We have an area out here. This is before you come in the base, you make sure that you're not irradiated, and I have a ooh, he just popped through the wall. I have a symptomatic, at least he's wearing clothes today. I have a symptomatic because a friend of mine always is running out of disease cure and doesn't use survival syringes. I also have my plasma core and my fusion core recharger. You can actually sit on the motorcycle if you haven't seen it. I must admit it's one of the nicest things we've had in game for a while. It's a shame there's no light. You can't put the light on, but I'll take it for what it is. Wouldn't it be great if we could actually ride around on it? I play ESO, we have mounts. Just makes things a lot more fun and a lot less tedious. I originally started by putting a garage door in here, but it really did not go with the rest of the build set. So I made these faux sliding doors. This is the Enclave wall light, which I used as handles. And these are just two half walls and they're just offset, and you do not need catwalks to offset. Now this ramp is slightly lower than this. I lowered it slightly because otherwise this edge was too lifted off the ground. It was difficult to get up, so when I built these I just lowered the foundation they were based on down a bit. I will show you when I build it. This is obviously my workshop. I really like the Enclave Armour workbench. It's a shame we don't have a full set. We have all these sort of random workbenches of different types, but none of them seem to be a full set. I put a plasma out here. This bit, it's just to add visual interest to the building, really. Couldn't get a stash box in, so my stash boxes are actually through there. I don't like these doors. They quite often don't work, but they're behaving today. I have a shelter that is an integral part of the build. I will show you that at the end. This is where my communication officer sits, although he's wandering about at the moment. His radio and table just merge through that without having to use any merge techniques. Apparently he's trying to morph through the wall now. He's normally quite well behaved, or he has been lately. We also have another desk here. Computers. This is my modus terminal, which is my vendor. I was going to put it outside, but you don't have to power it up to use the vendor, but you do have to power it up if you want Modus's face on it. I put the American flag out.
I don't want to have my own place. What a headache that would be.
This is the galley. This is raised a bit, but I wanted for the knobs to be visible. I have my freezer because I've recently discovered that I love opossums. I hate killing them, but it gives you +5 luck or +4 luck, which is really useful if you use ricochet. Oh, he's back.
Did anything follow you back?
Upstairs we have the barracks. I only put 2 beds in. You could make bunk beds if you wanted, and I didn't use the Enclave bed because I actually think these go better with the aesthetic. We have some board games for those boring nights when you're off duty. Enclave rug. I made these windows. You have these sort of slatted windows, but they let light in, but just found it a bit overbearing, so I made some windows. This is the head. I used one of these as a shower. I merged a sink into a kitchen counter because you don't want the legs sticking through the ceiling, to be clear. Outside I have a steel guitar and I have a smoking spot. I have these kind of wings on top of the buildings. It's again mainly to stop it just looking like a giant box. I put my Enclave flag up. There is a white one I think on the scoreboard as well, but I like that one better. This is where my shelter's the other side of this. I kind of figured rather than just having a flat surface, I made it, you could pull it out and go down further. It's just to make it look like there are stairs going down underground. This is, I didn't know actually, my friend George. If you use it, it moves. Although I always line mine up with a big dish, so it's going to go the other way now. This is the area that sticks out for the weapon display. I used these floodlights. I used a white one there and a red one there. I got them from Giuseppe using stamps. They give a big circle of light here when it's dark. You can just start to see the red one is showing here. Big red circle of light. So they're quite effective. I will show you the shelter. So the first thing you notice when you come in is that there's a bright light in your face, and that is deliberate. Because there is a security guard here. And he can see you better than you can see him, so that is actually deliberate. Again, I used the floodlight that I got from Giuseppe. I do have a magazine on the table. It is merged in a bit. I don't build in shelters very often, although you can merge. You obviously don't have your camp widget to sort of bump things up and re-merge them. So this is the lobby area. There is a door here. This is a research lab. I did try to pull some walls in to block these areas off. Had some success. So I built a research lab. We have autopsy over here. Obviously, as you can see, we're a bit backed up. See, I merged these on chessboards and they kind of worked okay. We have a meeting area, so we can talk about stuff. It's supposed to be sort of a TV on the wall. More computers, desk, research scientist, biochemistry, I assume. Now, I lit this with these. Actually, I didn't put a row along here. These did not give enough light. So I have again used these floodlights, and I've used 3 on each end of the room, and they have lit it up quite brightly. You may recognise this. This is a secret lab door from the scoreboard. And outside I have my UFO. Those are green disco balls. I haven't put anything in it. It was just a bit of whimsy, I guess. This is... I can't remember what the vault's called. Most vaults cost about 1,500 atoms, but there was a bundle recently with a load of stuff in that I already had. The only thing I didn't have was this vault, this shelter. And it said I could have it for 459 atoms, so I thought I'll take that. Interesting thing is that... Ooh! Where am I? Oh, I'm back here. You can see outside. Now obviously it's not really outside, it is fake outside, but I did notice the other day there are these weird sort of structures in the sky, which is odd. It's on both sides, but I actually really like this vault, although it's kind of annoying that until I decide to get rid of this camp, I will not be able to use this shelter again, because the shelter goes... you don't get a new shelter every time you get a camp slot, which would be nice, to be honest. But I can see how it would be complicated if people want to reuse the same shelter. So there's pros and cons. So this is my Enclave outpost. I'm not going to show you how I built the shelter because it's basically a box that's decorated. There's nothing particularly exciting in there. But I will show you how I built out here. So let's get on with the build. So the first thing we're going to do is put the ramp in. Now to line this building up, this camp up with the road and the ramp up with the road, I'm going to line a foundation up here with this line. Going to put a foundation here. Now I think this is a little bit too low, so we're going to raise this one. I'm going to press the select key and let go. And I'm going to press down and hold the select key and, whoops, don't do it too far. You can raise it up and down with the shoulder buttons, that's the mouse wheel if you play on PC. So it might be a bit low. That is the ramp. The building will start here. I will put in a regular foundation so you can see the difference. Now the one thing I will tell you is that the weeds here were an absolute nightmare, and this is the second take of this video. And the reason is there was some random hidden thing and I couldn't place a foundation here. I couldn't place confetti. I had been attacked by rad rats. I did loot all to remove all the bits, but I don't know. I just relogged, so hopefully it'll work. So because there won't be foundations here, you may have a problem with weeds. I did have a problem with one that just kept popping up. As of next week, you'll be able to put a doormat down on it, hopefully, and shoot it. So, yeah. So make sure that you do use a lot of confetti. Place a half wall here. Add a roof. I'm going to use these roofs, the green ones, because they're my favourites for building because they're very forgiving. Place one flat. Put a slant on like so. And then you can lower this. And we need 4 of these. And then these will just snap on like that. If this edge, if this corner is too high, then lower this foundation. I would suggest that you don't want the floors too low. So save your place, lower these slightly, and keep this as the level for your camp, which is what I did. We can take this off. I'm actually going to remove the first 2. Now you will notice they won't come off, so what you need to do is break the dependency. Just to give us a bit of space to do the doors. So we need to offset these foundations by 1/2, so just grab a staircase. Or use a catwalk. I mean, if you have catwalks, obviously, much quicker. Staircase. 1/2 upper floor. Another staircase down. And we're going to move this foundation up to here. We can take these off now. And we're going to move this up here. So your first door is going to go here. We're going to add another foundation here. And I'm going to use the Enclave set. So take one of the, if you don't have the Enclave set, use the Brotherhood of Steel one, use whatever you want. There are a few different variants. I used this one. And we're going to put one over here. Now to get the foundations back, we are going to have to destroy these. And I have just realised I did not save my place, but that's fine. So grab a stash box. Or if you're doing this after the update, just shoot these doors. They're currently attached to the foundation, so you can't move the foundations back unless you destroy them. I don't think I've ever noticed that this gives these kind of pillars effects. It's quite attractive actually. I might use that for something else. Right, we need to move the foundations back, so same as before, we'll use a catwalk. Just staircase, 1/2 upper floor, staircase, it doesn't matter which direction you do it. Right, we need to remove that foundation. We'll move this one back. And this one back. And that is the start of the building. So I will, although I'm using the Enclave foundations, I will quickly show you using different colours which areas are which, so you can get an idea of the sort of plan. That is the workshop. We have that little sticky out bit for my Gatling laser. We have a little sticky out bit for where the shelter goes, and I also put a sort of sloped piece behind it so it looked like it was actually going somewhere rather than just disappearing into a flat wall. This is where the staircase goes, and Raider Punk's little office is here. And then we have that little bit out here with the symptomatic and the brad shower. We then have 2x2 for the kitchen. I can't think of the word. Mess hall. So as you can see, you do need your foundations quite low here because they're quite high here. Now the beauty of using the Enclave set is that it effectively has, this one's the wrong way around, it has underpinnings effectively, so it doesn't look like your foundations are really high. I made sure that all mine were going in the same direction, so I did them that way with these lights going away from me. This one, because it is an empty space, if you don't know how to foundation merge, you can put your generator in there, although it might be a little bit far from the front. You'll have to test it out. Or you could put a secret hidden thing in there. I'm actually going to leave it like that because it will give us an idea of where some of the walls are going. So I'll leave that like that. So this is a doorway. I can't remember if I double walled the doorways. I don't know if there's any difference really on... They look the same both sides, so I don't think you need to. There is a doorway into the office here. Try and make sure that you line your walls up. For this area, I used half walls here and here, like so, top wall arches. I did put this part on here. Actually, they are not in the right place. They need to come forward. Put a roof on. Should be able to remove the bottom part. Nope. It will when you put a roof on here. You should be able to remove the bottom wall. There we go. You have this little cubby. I did put an uplighter at the back. So I'm kind of going to put the roofs on as we go and sort of build each section. That will actually have a floor on it because the bathroom will be there, so I'm not putting a roof on there. Missed a wall off this side. Like so. This area will have a half, again, halves all the way around, and then top wall arches. Should we test out the generator theory? This needs a sloped roof. Actually, before we do that, let's put the generator in and see how far it will light. I have been looking at some of my older videos, and the way I do certain things like foundation merging is different from how I used to do it. So if anyone would like a revised video on that, let me know. So let's just see how far that generator will reach. Goes to there, not there, I mean, I put a light up here, so it would probably work, especially if you push it as far to the front as possible. I mean, the generator. Yeah, it's lit up. So you could actually get away with that if you wanted to. Okay, moving on to this section, we're going to put a stair frame in there, but first we need to put walls on. I used these in-game windows, which are this, or the building set windows. Light does come through, but obviously you can't really see out. Did a closed one there where I put the modus thing, and an open one there. Plain, 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 plain. We need a doorway here. Making sure it's lined up with this wall. And another plain one here. I'm leaving these for the time being. These are going to be where the windows go. I'll show you how I did them. It's quite easy. I'll put the stair frame in. I use the first one so that the ladder staircase is on the back wall. And I use the Armour Ace set. Now I'm going to add some upper floors. Right, there it is. Couldn't see the pattern, I was too far away. It's called Loading Bay. I think it came from a season. Don't seem to be able to get an upper floor here on the side of this stair frame. Temporarily take this roof out. I don't remember having a problem with this. Take that off? Yeah. Some kind of interference there. Put our roof back. Right, I'm going to show you how I did the windows. Basically just place 2 half barn walls. We need to destroy them. As from next week, you will be able to destroy these yourself using a gun. Keep saying this. But I'm currently going to use a flamer trap because we're not there yet and I didn't want to not put a video out this week. Then we are going to put a barn full wall doorway over the top like so. And I'm going to do a few more of these so that we can do a repair all at the end. Why is that? I think these walls are on backwards. That's the trouble when you're building a wall over 2 foundations. So, exactly the same. Just destroy these. Full barn wall. I keep saying barn wall because this works with the barn wall set. Do not try it. Well, you can try it, but it may not work. Go to your camp widget and repair all. Right, the first thing you're going to do is take the full wall, make sure you're selecting the doorway, you can see on the top right, and change that to an enclave doorway. Then take the bottom half wall, so you can select these through the open doorway, but it's once you change these it's a bit difficult to select the full wall. Change the bottom one to an enclave wall. And the top one to glass. And just do that for all of these walls. I mean, you could do them all at the same time. Doorway, enclave, doorway. Carrying on with the upstairs. We need a plain wall here. We need a doorway here. Plain wall, another doorway for the bathroom. Plain wall, plain wall. You could put a window in the bathroom if you wanted. Plain, plain, plain. I think that is all of the walls done apart from the airflow vent things. So we can finish off the roofs. Try and make sure they're all going in the same direction. That one's the wrong direction. We can probably swap out these foundations now for the enclave ones. Hopefully they're all going in the correct direction. Right. I did add a couple of... I'll show you why, really. It's completely up to you. I kind of felt it looked too just like a few well, it is a few boxes stuck together. So I just wanted to add some visual interest. Just take a half wall here and add one here and here and add some roofs. Like so. I added a ramp here. The way I did it, sort of cheating a bit really. As I said, you don't need catwalks. I'm just trying to think if there's another way of doing it. It's not mandatory, you could put steps there. Actually, the foundations... No, the foundations are high enough. Let's take this out a second. Place a roof. It'll only go because this wall is back to front. Place one behind. Take this roof off. And then place a downward one. We can get rid of that wall. No, we can't. We can get rid of this. No, we can't. Lift it up. Get rid of it. Take the wall. Put the foundation back. There's your ramp. If you can't do that, if you don't have catwalks, just put steps up. We need to finish this. You can put these back in. Convert these to the Enclave set. Be very careful when putting these flat on this slope, depending on how low your foundations are or how low these are. I actually lost one of these under the map. I had to go under the map to retrieve it. This is what I mean about this corner. It was bugging me. So when I sort of mapped out the foundations, I lowered these slightly so that my roofs here were slightly lower. It is a bit of a faff, and as I said, you've got to be careful about flattening this one because you might lose it under the map. Couple of other things I did just to give a little bit of detail. I made a pillar blueprint using these pillars. They are called Enclave support post. Just stack 2 of them, grab a floor object. I use a conduit or power connector, and you need 2. I've done videos on this and people say it doesn't work, and the reason almost all of the time, 99.9% of the time, is they do a blueprint with only 1 pillar. Even if you only want 1 pillar, you remove the top one afterwards, you need 2 to make the blueprint work. So I just put one of these here and one here. Remove the floor object. And I also did it here. I mean, you can put as many on as you like. Just doing this sort of quick and dirty. Remove the floor object. Obviously it's too tall, take the top one off. It's starting to get dark and everything is black, but we are almost finished. For our sliding doors, I put handles on. I used a wall light. The Enclave wall light, and I basically just used them as handles. Here and here, and on the inside as well. And I think we are pretty much done, apart from what I always forget. Doors! Obviously we don't have a door at the front because we have these faux sliding doors. But I did use doors for these 2 rooms, and I used, oh actually and upstairs, I used the laser grid door, and I put one here and one here. I usually have them switched off because, as you know, they are a pain in the butt. I mean, there are different variants. There's Enclave flat laser door, and they just look so big and kind of cumbersome that I didn't like them. So it's up to you, whatever you want to use. Upstairs for the bathroom, and I'm pretty certain I used the same door. This one won't go on. Is this going to take those away? Nope. If that won't go on, add another upper floor temporarily. The door will go on. And I'm pretty certain I used the same door or similar door for the bathroom. And then you can just take the floor and put the roof back. I did put those spots up as it's getting dark, I will just show you what they look like. I used the little foot locker to put the one here. Turn it around. And I think these are 80 stamps from Giuseppe. Not this one. The industrial floodlight is pretty useless. It gives off almost no light. These are the Pittsburgh Industrial. I put a red one up here and the white one on here. I have to get out of build camera mode for this, I think. There we go. And as you can see, it lights up this area here. So it is dark. We are finished. Wow, the doors worked. It came together quite easily. I pondered adding more complexity. But in the end, I actually just thought it worked as it was, and sometimes just adding complexity locks out a lot of players, so I didn't want to do another round camp. I've done a few. I did the observatory in this spot, so it's up to you what you want, but this worked for me. I really like the ramp. A couple of days after I finished it, we of course got the motorbike, which I thought worked really well with this camp. So yeah, so overall I am pretty happy with it. Don't think I have anything else to add. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know down below. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.